Season 2, Episode 8. Listen, before we kick it off, before the introductions, listen. Doritos, we need that bag, bro. You see how we rocking, bro. We see how we rocking. You know what I mean?
I on the napkin, keeping it gully.
Keeping it gully. We can't present the bag right now. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to keep it clean, but you know what I'm saying. We need y'all to understand. But anyway, to my left, to your right, my main man, Coach Anthony Simmons, head coach, varsity coach of Voyager Academy. Myself, Ray Masonette, talent slash player slash evaluator slash anything you want to do with basketball guy. I do it all. My man Ant said stop being so humble. I gotta let y'all know. I do it all. I do everything. You want to plan an event, you want to evaluate a player, you want to know where to get weighted basketball.
My man's your guy.
I'm your guy.
Ray, that's your guy. That's your guy.
But we got some stuff for y'all today, man. We're going to kick it off. We got an interesting topic. I think you guys should like this because we're going to touch on, what you say, efficiency? You know what I mean? And basically the difference between, and, you know, Coach will explain it more, the difference between...
Footwork versus ball handling.
There you go.
Footwork versus ball handling. I mean, basketball season is upon us.
Woo!
You know, I got the itch. You know, I got my guys in the gym. We working every day. And at this point, I mean, another section you want to add to the show, you know, is just starting to talk about things that make players better. So footwork versus ball handling is a topic that I've always wanted to share my opinion on. Now we have a platform where I can share my opinion.
That's right.
And so, you know, here's what we're going to do. So this is to my players. Ultimately, you know, my opinion or where I'm trying to go with this rant is for you to actually, I'm trying to say something that's actually going to trigger you to think about it and actually make you put yourself in that situation and think about how many times do I just really catch it and dribble it and how many times do I catch it and look. So just let me guide you, you know what I'm saying, I got you, but we're going footwork versus ball handling. So first, like the way I have to explain this is we have to really break down what ball handling is to its most literal point.
Right.
And to me, the main purpose of ball handling is to advance the ball up the court. That's the main part of dribbling, is to advance the ball up the floor. Now, that's in the full court. In the half court, I feel like the purpose of dribbling is to go around a defender.
Right.
All right? And that's where the footwork part comes in. And this is for me as a coach, evaluator, just anything, just watching the game, where it just becomes frustrating, you know, and this is my argument. Like, so to all my players, it's as simple as this. I'm going to make it as simple as I can. Good players catch, face, and look. Bad players catch and dribble.
Got it.
It's just that simple. So, like I said earlier, what I want you to do is think about how many times you catch the ball and put it on the floor, and then how many times you catch and actually look and see what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? Like, now, granted, of course I'm not talking about the times you catch it and you know you're completely wide open, it's a lane in front of you, the sky is wide open, and you put it on the floor. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about all the times you catch it and just dribble it and stay in the same spot.
Right.
Ball stopping, over dribbling, these types of things.
Or just another example is just like when somebody's taking it out of bounds and they pass it to you and the first thing they do is dribble. You know what I mean? And you don't even know the defense is in a full court press. You don't know if they all fell back and go to the zone. You just turn, put it on the floor, cookies, snatch your pocket. Now you look at your coach with the I don't know face. I don't know.
All right, now I think I know. I think I know.
Tell them then.
So I'm gonna talk that. So I think you don't because I think the pivot has become extinct in high school basketball. I'm ready. Basketball season is upon us. I'm about to talk that talk. So just follow me. I'm alright at this.
Alright.
Alright.
Do something.
I'm alright.
Mic check.
Alright, so on the high school level, pivoting has become a lost art. What I mean by pivot is catch either by jump stopping, establishing twos.
Another lost art. Go ahead.
Split catching, establishing, still two, but one forward, one behind. And then establishing one foot is your pivot foot, meaning one foot is not going to move. And then opening up with the opposite. That's what I mean by pivot. So, because players don't understand pivot, because pivoting is not really taught in rec leagues anymore, middle schools anymore, high schools anymore, it's become a lost art. The first thing a kid wants to do now is just catching and dribbling because that's what he's taught. You got kids going to trainers at 6 years old, and all they know is a cone and dribbling over it or dribbling between the legs. They don't understand. I remember back in the day, before you even dribbled, when I was coming up, you had to go around the head, around the waist, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Around the legs.
You talking that Bob Cousy talk?
You know what I'm saying? No, I mean, I'm serious, bro. Like, you had to do that first. Then you had to go figure eight. Like, it was a lot of basic things to warm up your handle. All right, so let's get back to the pivot, though. So because it's not taught, I think players just don't know. Because I know a lot of good players that just catch and go. They don't catch and pivot.
Right.
All right, so because that's gone, it's creating an argument. Now, this is where footwork comes in. The purpose of footwork is to make a defender commit to something or give you a lane. I'm going to say it again. The purpose of footwork is to make the defender commit to something or give you a lane. Alright? So, what I mean by that is catching, turning on the pivot, facing the defender. By jabbing, he's establishing that he's going to back up and give you the jump shot.
Right.
Alright? By catching and squaring up and he comes close, now he's establishing that he's going to pressure you. You know, like there's different types of closeouts. Everybody's taught that. So if you're catching and dribbling, you're never seeing the closeout. So you're never understanding that defender could be giving you the answers to the test because he's just that terrible of a defender, but because you're rushing so much and you're not catching and facing and there's never any footwork established, you're just dribbling and putting yourself in harm's danger, which equals turnovers, which equals over dribbling, which ultimately equals evaluators and coaches saying that you don't understand how to play the game.
Yep, and that's the biggest thing that I go off of right now at this age, right? Because we're in a great stage in the game of basketball in a generation where you got kids that are younger and younger that are super athletic, super tall, super agile, super nimble. So it's getting a lot harder to just base somebody's talent off of natural ability. But you know, and a lot of scouts do that regardless. But what I look at is how much you understand the game, right? And the things that Coach Simmons just told y'all, it's just like, I look for that stuff, especially in my point guards. You know, if my point guards just, you know, turnover city because they don't know how to jump stop, they don't know how to pivot, they don't know how to slow the game down, they don't know how to speed it, they don't know how to go at multiple speeds, they just go at one speed. They don't know how to find players, they just kind of put their head down and go to the basket because of all of the over dribbling. Like, it's just things that, you know, easily stand out for me to make you either a decent average player or an elite player. I mean, so these are things. I mean, and I think, you know what, man? I know we talked about it before. We gotta start putting out instructional videos, man. We like you gotta show these kids what it means to do this stuff, man. Cause like,
I got you, but guess what? I still ain't done.
Okay, go ahead.
I got the peanut butter and the jelly. Go make it sound.
What you want to get the peanut butter right now?
No. I already gave it to him. We're trying to put it together.
All right, let's put it together.
You know what I'm saying? So we've already explained. You know what I'm saying? For those that are late, that wasn't paying attention. You know, got some kids in class that ain't paying attention.
Welcome to the report.
I'm that, you know, good of a teacher. I'm gonna run it back for you real quick. Fast though, bullet point. Boom, boom. Footwork versus ball handling. Purpose of dribbling is to advance the ball up the floor in the full court, or to go around the defender in the half court. That's when footwork comes into play. Good players catch, face, and look. Bad players catch and dribble. Alright? I believe that's the issue because players don't know how to pivot, don't understand what it is, can't really give me a definition of what it actually is. Alright? So now, I'll put it together for you. So, let's imagine you're in that half court. Alright, now you've popped out, you said your cut, now you catch it, you're pivoting, you're turning your face. Let me explain something to you. Alright? You want to understand and learn footwork. Footwork meaning split catching, catching and turning, catching and facing. jab stepping, pump faking, you know, like all these different things, ripping, like all these different things. You know what I'm saying? Like before, it's a fake before you actually dribble the ball. When you catch it, the defender knows you're going to dribble it.
Mm-hmm.
So put him in a situation to guess. Put him in a scenario. Don't just catch it and put it on the floor. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, it gives him an advantage. Mm-hmm. So if you catch it and you actually jab or you actually pump fake or you actually rip, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, now, off that first dribble, you've made the defender lean or commit to something.
Yep. So
now, the dribble move comes into play. So let me go back. When you're ripping, if it's one-on-one and there's no help, what you have to understand as a player is this. The most important thing is being able to get around him. Mm-hmm. Because nothing happens unless you get around him. So if getting around him is the main goal, then you have to be committed to footwork. Because you could get around him off a fake before you even dribble. Now, because you actually are getting around him, you impact your team. Because now the other members on his team have to help. And when you're faking, what you have to understand is basketball is a multitasking game. Like it's quick thinking. So in your head, if you're bigger than this guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, then a certain dribble move works better. If you're smaller than that guy, then slowing your fake down or making a quick fake one way and cutting another direction now gives you the answer for it. You know what dribble move you can use to get around him. So it's a lot of reading going on. And so your physical advancement, all those things come into play. But they're not as effective or as efficient if you just put the ball on the floor. Because guess what? Once you put it back, once you put the ball on the floor, if you pick it up, you screwed.
Right.
You screwed. So you got to understand the value of that dribble. Mm-hmm. You got to understand it, man. So I know I said a lot, but I'm hoping you listen, and I'm hoping that scenario was able to get to you, you know. And this is something that we will continue to do. We will come up with a name for our little section, but like each and every episode now, we're going to just try to come out and make sure we pick something that's intriguing, something we see, mm-hmm. something that's easily debatable, you know, that me and our partner can go back and forth about and make sure that we give you, you know, good knowledge about. But I think, you know, we accomplished that today with this first one. I think that was a gem. Low key, not to pat my own self on the back.
Hey, nah, yeah, that efficiency PB&J, man, like, that's it right there. Because, I mean, especially, like, you listen to, you know, I'm pretty sure most of y'all, if not all of y'all, saw Kevin Durant on the EYBL talking to the EYBL players. And on several notions of those conversations, he mentioned efficiency, doing less to get more. You know, he was explaining to Cole Anthony, like, you jump out the building right now, but at the next level, it's not going to be that easy. How can you one dribble pull up, or, you know, things of that nature, things in that scenario where, you know, he can use his ability to do less but get more. And that's what it's about, you know. Like, y'all gotta stop doing so much, man. All that, I don't understand how y'all not tired after all that dribbling anyway. But I mean, that's just me, man. But yeah, Coach Simmons wrapped it up for y'all. We gonna create a separate segment. You know what I mean? Talk about different ways and opportunities for y'all to get better, understand the game better, and make the game easier. Hopefully. What's the next topic, man? Let's go ahead and move on to that. Smash some Doritos.
Yeah,
Smash some Doritos.
Prep school, man.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, this is a great topic because it's a you know, back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, I'm just gonna throw this out here. Prep school isn't for everybody. I think, you know, a lot of kids think if they haven't gotten to a certain point in their high school basketball career, it's like, all right, this is an option. I'll just go prep. that's a false notion. You're fooling yourself. And the reason I say that is because prep school ain't no joke, especially the ones that are nationally ranked, the ones that compete at the highest level in prep school. They not taking no trash.
It's just levels to it. Let's just say it's levels to it.
It's levels. But for the ones who do have the opportunity, that opportunity can lead to so many more opportunities. But you kind of can't get in your own way. And what I mean by that is like, I don't want to do another year of school. I want to go to college right now. Like if basketball is something that you are really serious about and you want to go as far as you can go, you want to create as many opportunities as possible for yourself to continue to play so you can play at the highest level, whether that's collegiate or whether that's professional. That's kind of how I want to open it up to you. But and what you got to tell the people?
Kind of just to piggyback off you, man, I think the way we want to go with today is that it's specifically pertaining to players that when you're on the bubble. What I mean by that is you have an offer already, or you have significant interest to the point where you and the head coach are texting and talking. Him and your high school coach are, him and your AAU coach are, him and your trainer, and him and your parents. You've taken visits. You may be in between D1, D2. You may be in between D3, D2. Like we're talking to these type of guys. Now, one thing I want you to understand is prep schools like anything else. So if we're going to educate you, they're gimmicks. There are prep schools out there that are just taking money.
Right.
That they're playing a schedule. Guys from their program don't continuously, make it to the next level. So you have to understand, for a lot of people in this situation, it's another financial burden.
Yeah. So
it's AAU times 3.
Do your research.
Basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's AAU times 3. But at the same time, for the players we're talking about, there's some opportunities where, it can be paid for, depending on your ability.
Right.
So for us, now it's about, all right, let me start with an example first. Thomas Allen, Micah Carter. Before they graduated high school, we already knew these guys were Division I talents. Right? We knew they were Division I talents. We knew they had offers or commitments in high major conferences. But for them, prep school allowed them a year to get physically stronger and mentally tougher, which allowed them to become rotational players as freshmen. So instead of going to school and starting their clock and having to be in a year of his body's not ready,
right,
or mentally this, that, and the third, now they play another year against national competition, every day that's way tougher than the high schools they came from, and now it creates the opportunity for them where when they practice, they're practicing in front of 100 coaches, 50 coaches in different situations. That's what I'm saying. It's levels to prep school. It's just like anything else. Just like it's levels to AAU teams, it's levels to high school, it's levels to the prep schools. So for those young men, like, now you got them at Power 5 conferences. One was able to play an NCAA tournament. One was in a big time conference. So now, earlier on, now as sophomores, they're almost thrown into a role of, for sure, they're starting or, playing significant minutes. But now they have 3 years to really chase that dream of becoming a professional. So for the kids out here, what we really want you to start doing is just really educating yourself on the whole process. All right. Number one, when we say that, you have to, like, what's your end game? Because basketball ultimately is a tool. So what's your end game? Where are you trying to go? Because even if you are trying to go, if you're holding out to go to a certain institution, going to prep school and going to a higher academic institution could help you as an adult as well. You know what I'm saying? So we have to figure out what you want out of it. All right, and if success is what you want, not saying that you won't get success any other way, but you really are strong in your principles, your work ethic, like you have your vision, you know what you want to do, then don't be afraid to jump, man. Because it's a lot of positive stories that's
Man.
coming from these prep school situations. And one I want to talk about specifically is Ody Oguama. 6'8", 6'9", power forward. Graduated from Cardinal Gibbons. I had the pleasure of coaching in the last 2 years for North Carolina Red Storm 17 under team. And he actually chose, situation came up. He actually chose to go to prep school at Woodstock Prep Academy.
Mm-hmm. Now, before you continue, what did he have before he graduated?
He had roughly around 20 offers.
Division I offers.
Yeah, roughly around 21 to 22 Division I offers. The highest, I think, like major conference, like was the West Coast Conference, WCC. So the conference that Gonzaga was in, Portland University, offered him. But a lot of it was a lot of different schools. Mm-hmm. But in Ody's situation, smart kid, high academic student, and also is he believes in himself, and he wants to give himself an opportunity to one day be a professional. That was his dream, you know. Started playing basketball late, but he's blossoming. And the thing about, I think, a prep school for Ody, and the reason why, you know, I was all for him going is because he was raw. And I feel like because he wasn't specifically, you know, in certain situations where he could get everything he needed fundamentally as a big, mm-hmm. I feel like going to a nationally known prep school and where now you actually get to practice with 4 or 5 guys your actual height, your actual size, and now for 8 months you're getting specific big man work every day. Like regardless for him, worst case scenario, he can just go to one of the schools that was already recruiting him, because of course they would still be recruiting him. So at the end of the day, it's a no-brainer and a win-win, because this is a kid I knew that took everything seriously, listened, believed in the process, and Ody's calling card is he's a hard worker. Yeah. There's never a time where if you ask that kid, no matter who you are, to come in the gym and work out, when he leaves, his socks are going to be sweaty. Like literally, he's going to have to take a shower. Like you don't want this man to get in your car. So from what I know, if you have a kid that's going to work that hard, let's just try to find the best school that understands him and understands his position and understand how to use him. Let's give him an extra year to chase that, because I know he's going to be the hardest working kid at the school. And if he's blessed to find that, now he's going to an institution for 4 years, where that if he follows that same path for 4 years, then he's going to have a chance to do what he ultimately wanted to do. And that's what it's about, God willing, if he's healthy.
Right. And I mean, like, you hit the nail on the head, man. And it's just like one of the things that you pointed out that I want everybody to start doing, man. Start betting on yourself. Now, that comes with a caveat. Don't bullshit and bet on yourself, because that's crap. Like, don't do that. But if you know you put in hours, you know you put in the work, you know you're doing the best you can, you know, based on your resources and ability, bet on yourself. Nobody's gonna believe in you like you. And like, you know what I'm saying, it kind of digressed from the main topic of prep school, but I just want to kind of elaborate on that a little bit. As far as the prep school stuff goes, man, like, it ain't no joke when, you know what I mean, like, you know, those guys will tell you, the Thomas Allens and the Mike Crowes, they had 50 high major D1s at their practice, at an open gym. You know, Woodstock Academy, same thing.
Yeah, it changes your mindset.
Yeah, like,
and lets you know that basketball is a business.
Yep. I mean, where's the only other place that happens? AAU. Right? That don't happen in high school no more. You know what I mean? So it's just like that you know, for those of you who take it seriously and you think your clock is running out, but you have talent and you work hard, there's other opportunity. Don't limit yourself. You know what I mean? So, I mean, with that being said, man, I mean, I think spotlight players are obviously Ody. You know what I mean? We can't talk about him in a situation where not talking about spotlight, man. But from an evaluating standpoint, man, like Coach Simmons said, hardest work in the gym, challenges everything, blocks a lot, will dunk on you at any given moment, still a little bit raw. But again, he's working. You know,
and defensively, he's special.
Oh man,
like where the game is going now, he's a big that can actually turn down the pick and roll. He can switch. He can check your point guard 30 feet away from the basket.
That's fact.
He can sit out in the stance and guard your point guard. He can move laterally with the best of them. Right now, his lateral movement is at a professional level, and he's a rim protector. And just with more understanding, more learning, and that work ethic that he has, like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him run on TV and people wondering why. Just because of the process. It's a hard-working kid. That's a smart kid. You know, who just goes about the game the right way and was raised in a family that preached work ethic and accountability. You know, and with those two things, it's easy to go as far as you can, man. So, I mean, speaking on that, since Ody's been at the prep school, first couple practices, he's received 3 more offers. So, UMass and 2 other schools, if I'm not mistaken, I know for sure that I offer him. I think Quinnipiac.
Quinnipiac and one more.
And one more, but I think the sky's the limit for this kid, and I mean, I just hope to see him do well, because when a kid works, you can't do nothing but respect that. That means he's going about his business like a man. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, whenever you go about something like that, you understand your priorities, good things are going to happen. So, Ody, you already know, boy. You feel me? Big Otis. Get it down. Red Storm head of security. You feel me? You know, we just want to apologize for the leather. Smacked off a few of those basketballs. And a couple of brothers that ain't beat your stuff out of bounds. You know what I mean? My fault. I left my dog up the chain. Get it out of here, Otis. Get it out of here.
Yo, that's it. We out.